So I'm not going to get into the details on individual sales because that's way too in the weeds for everybody right now. But like I said, there's a value adjustment board process. We have to go before special magistrates on these. These are the types of properties that are typically appealed. And so some of these things are ruled by magistrates out of our control where values end up falling. So that's why you might see some irregularities because magistrates don't look at other valuations up and down the beach necessarily. They'll make a call and we have to live by it or we have to litigate. And so we've had both situations. We've had situations where we've had litigation and then others where we've let a magistrate's ruling stand. Because if we litigate, doesn't necessarily mean we're going to win, and then we have to spend a bunch of resources and dollars there that cost all the taxing authorities dollars. So that's why you're going to see some differences there. But every one of those properties stands on their own. They all get individual looks. They're not necessarily part of a big, broad mass model. The commercial properties get a closer hands-on approach look at each one of them. Obviously, the bigger ones get looked at closer, and there's, like I said, the sales. You can't take sales at face value. A lot of those are unqualified. A lot of them have business value in there that we can't necessarily tax. There's different components in there, so it's not as cut and dry as it looks on the surface. But again, encourage the gentleman to reach out and talk with our hotel appraiser if you'd like. We're here to please if we can.
Mr. Mayor, if I just ask a question for clarification, because I think the timing issue is really not understood well by some of the residents. If a hotel is going through a $10 million renovation and is closed the entire year,
right?
Wouldn't you expect then the income value of that hotel for the next year's valuation then naturally drop and then pick up the following year?
Correct. Correct. So a lot of those properties that were referenced have gone through renovations. A lot of those times, those renovations are necessary as part of a deferred maintenance or just replacement type cycle. They don't add necessarily dollar for dollar what you're spending on them. It's not quite the same as if you go in and gut your kitchen and put a new kitchen in. But in residential, a lot of times if you're within your four walls and you replace some things in your home, as long as you're within those four walls, you're not getting tagged for new construction over and above your cap. That stays under your cap, which is going back to that 50% rule issue. So that was one of the issues, is when people would make those investments at grade, it wasn't adding any value to the tax roll because they're making it within the same four walls at grade, and most of the time we don't even know it's occurring. A lot of times no permits are pulled. But where we add new construction on residential is when you add additions, you add new extra features like a pool, a dock, a boat lift, those types of things. Those are new features that you're adding onto the property.
Okay. Any comments, rest of the commission?
No, but I appreciate you taking the time to address that because we hear it a lot.
Sure.
And it really is helpful to get the facts and then also understand that that is something that's set at the state level. All of that criteria and the assessment process there's lots of nuances that would change that, whether it be they went to the value adjustment board or they were under construction or we had a bad pandemic
Correct.
year, and whether there's multiple parcel property, purchases and that dollar figure that's being addressed, so I really think it's important that that we're dealing with good information, and I appreciate you taking the time. And if there's ever anything that we can do on the city side to help protect and preserve, the ad valorem revenue that's coming back to us, I mean, we don't know enough to know, because I know that's all managed by the state. I know you are administrator on this situation. I know that there's different elements involved in the way taxes are brought forward, and I've studied it at length and had more copies and dug deep into the minutiae of it as well, and had questions, and thankfully I had those answers made, and I just think that it's great that you took the time out to help everybody understand that a little bit better.
Sure. And just to give people some perspective, so we receive about 1,200 VAB, Value Adjustment Board petitions each year. About half of those, we actually end up going before a magistrate. The other ones get worked out ahead of time, or they drop the petition once they realize, we sit with them, explain some things, and they realize, oh, you know, I'm not going to fight that.
And that's not just for commercial properties. I know
That's everything.
residential properties that have come in and said, wait a minute, you've got me assessed too high.
Right.
You know, we need this, what about this one and this one and this one? We're same, you know, so it's not just a value adjusted for, or a challenge
It's
to the assessed value.
open to
It's-
every property owner. So we encourage anyone, and we encourage informal conversations. So before trim notices even come out, you can check the values on our website. Within the next month, the new values will be posted, and they can start checking their values. And if they see something out of line, you know, doesn't matter what the property is, give us a call. Talk to your area appraiser, and we'll get you connected, and they'll talk you through it. And if there's an issue, we'll correct it.
How many did you say go before the magistrate per year?
1,200 filed, and about 600 go
Okay.
before the magistrate.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And there's
Well,
no
Miami-Dade has 60,000
Oh.
backlogged. They have 100, they had to hire 100 appraisers, staff members, just to do VAB outside of their normal staff that touches the values the first time. So we don't want to be like that.
But I think that's a
I don't
testament to your
want to have to.
assessment, you know, strategies.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Just last comment, Mike. So thank you very much. I think the other one of the other concerns we hear also, or at least I'll speak for myself, that I hear is, how do we keep more of the money in St. Pete Beach? Quite frankly, we take great effort to beautify the city, to make investments in the city, make this a great place to live, encourage businesses to expand, to grow, all those things,
Mhm.
and the money goes out.
No, the money that he's talking about comes to us. The
Yes.
stuff that goes out is sales tax, bed tax, stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But on the overall, sorry if I wasn't clear, on the overall tax picture,
Mm-hmm.
that's part of an ongoing discussion.
Now, you're talking outside of his,
Yeah.
Purview.
Yeah, I understand your pain there. But yeah, that's conversations at the state level.
some at the
Well,
county,
thank you.
though.
Yeah, I was going to say the county, but I was trying not to.
Yeah, trying to be nice. That's where you work. Okay, I got it.
I let you say it.
I can say it. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Thank you again, Mike. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
City Clerk, we got anything else?